Hope you're able to see my screen.
Yes, we can.
Okay, sounds good. So I'll just go with full screen mode. Yeah. Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining with us today. Good evening. A very good afternoon. I know there are quite few number of folks have been joined, but I think we were expecting some more to be joined in the later point of time. Thank you, Akash, for taking your time and then coming with us and explaining one of the great topic today with the integration of Marketing Cloud with Slack using Digital Command Center. Uh, Team, if you look at for our past sessions, so we have great sessions we've been running on the Slack for integrations with Salesforce, Sales Cloud, Service Cloud, and today we are going to talk with Marketing Cloud. And today our agenda would be introductions, and after that we can go with the main topic, which is going to be delivered by Akash. And we have use cases where Akash is going to talk about a couple of use cases, and he's going to demonstrate as well how to build those use cases inside Slack and Marketing Cloud. And if any questions and answers, feel free to ask us. So we'll happy to collaborate, and then we'll happy to answer those questions. So most important thing, all throughout the session, you could mention us in your tweet with the hashtag below, and you could stand a chance to win some cool swag from Slack. Slack is going to send you some great swag. So that good number of swag has been budgeted by this year. So probably, I mean, definitely going to expect the good amount of people will get a cool swag, at least for the first 3 winners. And I think I'm going to stay for 1 second or 10 seconds here. So probably you could note it down the hashtags, and then you could tweet us for whole throughout the session. And then you can get some cool swag as well. You can win some cool swag from Slack, right? So I'll copy this and then put it in our Zoom chat as well. And you guys can take it forward. I think let's have some introductions. So myself, Anindra, I'm a Salesforce MVP and a marketing champion. So I'm handling the Slack community in Singapore for the past 1 year. I've been connected most of the sessions, about 7 to 8 sessions. And you could find all the recordings in Slack. I'm gonna post that the YouTube recording sessions in chat and soon. And I would love Akash to give him his introduction and then share his topic details and go through with them. All right. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. So over to you, Akash. Thank you.
Yep. Thanks, Penny. Let me share my screen. Can you confirm if you're able to see it?
Yes. Thank you.
Hey everyone, thanks for taking the time and joining in. The topic that I'll be presenting today is on how to integrate Marketing Cloud with Slack using the app called Digital Command Center for Slack. So this session is hosted by Slack Community Singapore. Quick introduction about myself. My name is Akash Israni. I'm a Marketing Cloud lead at Genetrix Technology, 7x Salesforce certified, author of sfmcstack.com, which is a technical site for all things Salesforce Marketing Cloud. I also do post actively on my LinkedIn page called SFMC Stack. And these are my social handles. Please feel free to reach out if you have any questions or anything in general with respect to Marketing Cloud or Slack. So yeah, for today's agenda, we'll be covering the following. So starting with what is Digital Command Center, why use Digital Command Center, followed by demo, where we'll deep dive into some of the examples and also use cases, followed by considerations, things to note, best practices, and then finally we'll open the floor for some Q&A. So starting with what exactly is Digital Command Center. So it's a Slack app that helps you to monitor your Marketing Cloud automations and journeys as well. So this app, it gives you a highly customizable interface where you can customize as per your business needs, and it will help you to detect and also take immediate actions if there are any errors or abnormal activity within your Marketing Cloud account. So this app, it runs like several times per day, so that it continuously monitors all your automations and journeys. And if there's any issue with them, it will trigger a alert on your Slack channel. And this usually runs for like every 3 hours, depending on the monitoring and the errors that it receives. So now why should we use this app? So Salesforce, so it depends on numerous automated process so that everything can function correctly within your account. While configured with the automated process, we expect that to work as expected, right? So many things can go wrong, and it can potentially like disrupt the automated process that you have already configured. So this are often difficult to identify and act upon immediately because you won't be continuously monitoring your account manually, right? So you need some process where it does that automatically. So in order to mitigate these issues, this is where this app comes in, where it will constantly monitor your account, and whenever there are any alert errors, it will trigger an alert to your Slack channel, and so that you can also whenever you receive that alert, you can go ahead and monitor what's wrong with your automation or journey, and you can take an action on that so that it doesn't have a significant impact for your account. So now let's deep dive into a demo. So I'll be covering this following. So let me switch back to my Slack. So this is my Slack workspace, SFMC Titans. So I have two users. So one is John, who is currently connected to Marketing Cloud account. And the second user that I have is Claire, who is not currently connected to Marketing Cloud account. So first, let's start with how we can actually install this app. So in the Slack workspace, if you notice towards the left, we have an option called Add Apps. So when you click on that, you just search for Digital Command Center. So since I already have that app installed, I don't see that add option over here. But just as an example of how it actually looks, so when you click on that add option, it will now redirect you to this page where you see the option called add to Slack. So if you are already not connected to that app, you can just go ahead and add that. Since I already have that, I won't be doing that for now. So once you add that, towards the left, you will see that app which has been added to your specific Slack workspace. Now, within this app, so we have three tabs for home, followed by messages and about. So I'll come to the two other tabs at a later point. So now within the home tab, it gives you some basic details of about what the app is, and it also will support other Salesforce products in the future. But for now, it just connects you with Marketing Cloud account. Now, since Claire is not connected to a Marketing Cloud account, I see the option called Connect Account over here. So when I click on that, it will redirect you to a Marketing Cloud page. So where you can just enter your credentials. So once you do that, um, the app does two things. First is under messages, it will give you a success message saying that your app is connected, and you can customize your rules based on your business needs. So that's the first thing. Second thing is, the very first time that you connect your app with your Slack workspace, it will automatically create a channel by this name called Command Center Alerts. Now, within this alerts, so you will see that every day it will monitor my journeys and automations of my Marketing Cloud account, and it will trigger those alerts. So initially, for the very first time when you connect this app, this channel, after a few seconds, it will go to your Marketing Cloud account. It will monitor your existing journeys and automations, and if there are any issues with it, it will actually trigger those alerts as well based on the pre-configured rules. So I'll walk through those, what are those rules and how does it monitor. So now, since Claire is not connected, I'll showcase this at a later point. Now I'll switch back to John's account. So over here, if I go to the app, digital command center. Now, if you see, this account is already connected to Marketing Cloud. So when you connect that, you see two options over here. First is monitoring rules. So these are the rules that you can customize as per your business needs on how this app should monitor your journeys and automations. And this part, it basically tells you that you're currently connected to your Marketing Cloud account. Now, you also have an option called Manage Platform Account. So over here, if let's say you want to disconnect your account, you can do that as well. So let's go through some of the rules that are predefined and see how we can customize it based on our needs. So within the monitor rules, if I click on View Rule Library, so here you will see 6 rules. So we have 4 rules for Journey Builder and 2 for Automation Studio. So if I, let's say, I just want to monitor Journey Builder, then you can just click this option. And once you do that, it will show you those specific rules for Journey Builder. And if you want, you can always go back and add Automation Studio. So once I do that, it will add the rules for Automation Studio as well. Okay. Now, initially, when you connect this app, you have 2 options. One is opt-in and manage. But by default, you will automatically be opted into all the rules except for this rule that is called Journey Performance Threshold. So here, initially, when you connect your app, you will see an option called opt-in over here. So once you opt in, it will switch to a manage option so that you can configure your rules. But apart from this, by default, it will automatically opt in for all the rules for you. Now, for each of these rules, there's a pre-configured that is already been done. So I'll go through them, and then I'll showcase that within this command center alert channel as well. So for the first rule that we have is abnormally high journey entry. So if I click on that manage option, here you see that there's already a configuration that is done by the app for me. So if I want, I can edit that configuration, I can clone that. And if I don't need that, I can delete that as well. So that flexibility, this app provides you with that. If I want, I can also create a new configuration. So for each rule, it allows you to create up to 10 configurations, not more than that. So within this configuration, if you see, it currently says that it's monitoring 6 journeys from my Marketing Cloud account. And the channel that the alert will be posted in is this channel by default. If you want, you can switch that to a different channel as well. But initially, by default, since this rule is created for you, it selects the default channel, that is the command center alert. Now, since John is connected to a Marketing Cloud account, so all the rules that are pre-configured, John will be the owner for it. Okay. Now, if I just click on edit for this rule called high entry journeys, so we have a few options here that you can configure. So starting with the first thing that we have is at what percentage above the average will the alert trigger. So where this is 60%. That means, let's say, for example, if I have 10 subscribers in my data extension, and if let's say 8 subscribers enter the journey, which is more than 60% of my subscriber count, right? So in that case, this alert will get triggered, okay, saying that your subscriber count is more than 6. So that's why this alert will be triggered at that point. So if you want, depending on your audience size, you can change this to any threshold that you want. Okay. So currently, by default, it will set it as 60%. Now, our next option it gives you is which business unit does it monitor. So you can monitor parent as well as child business units. So if you have any other additional business units, you can just type in the name and it will show you those child business units as an option. Next option is it says that exclude journeys that contains the following keywords. So wherever in my journey, say for example, so for this journey, if you see, I'm using a keyword called test. So in that case, this will exclude that journey. So it won't monitor that journey. So if you want, you can add other options as well, saying anything like test one or something. So you can exclude them based on keywords, but also you can also exclude them based on specific journey names. So I can type in my journey name. Say for example, I'll say DCC, and if there's any journey with that name, it will allow you to select that journey as well. So you can select it and tell this rule that don't monitor this journey. Okay. So, and next we have which channel will the alert post in. So by default, again, this is the channel. So if I want, I can just remove that channel and select any other channel that I need. So let's say I can do this as well. Okay. And next is which users will be mentioned in the alert. So if I want now, let's say Claire is not connected to an account, right? But she is part of the workspace that I'm currently in. So what I can do is I can just select Claire over here. So whenever this alert gets triggered, Claire will be notified in the Slack saying that there's an alert for this specific rule, and she can go ahead into Marketing Cloud account and see what's the issue with the journey. Okay. And finally, we have a few buttons. We have actually in total 3 buttons called create channel, resolve mute, and manage rule. So I'll come back to this in a moment. But if you want, you can remove this as well. So let's say for this specific rule, I just want these 2 buttons to show for the users. In that case, I'll just select these 2. So if I want, I can go ahead and add this rule as well. So manage rule. So manage rule is basically configuring the rule. So the users who are allowed to configure this rule, you can select that option as well. And finally, if you don't need this configuration, you can always go ahead and delete it. Say for example, if you have 10 configurations, and if you feel that need to remove one configuration, you can delete that so that you have space for one more configuration to be added, and you can create that new configuration over there. Okay, so this is for abnormally high journey entries. Now I'll go to the next rule for the journey builder, which is abnormally low entry. So this is very similar to what I showed you in the high entry. So again, for this, you have a pre-configured rule, and you can see who is the owner, which channel will this alert be posted in, and you can always edit that as well. So over here, you have the similar options that you had for the earlier rule. Uh, the only difference is here, if you see, it says 60% for the percentage under the average. So let's say, for example, if I have, again, taking the same example, if I have 10 subscribers, and if only 4 subscribers are entering the journey, that means it is more than 60% of my subscribers are not entering the journey, right? So in that case, this alert will be triggered. Okay. So that's the only difference between these 2 rules, the high and the low. High is where if more than 60% are not entering the journey, you get that alert. If more than 60 are not entering the journey, then you receive this alert for this rule. Okay. So that's the only difference between these 2. And the rest of the options, it remains the same, like which business unit, if you want to exclude any journeys or a specific journey name, if you want to change the channel, if you want this rule to be in another channel, you can do that as well. Users to mention, and again, the same buttons and the delete configuration option. So this is the second rule for the journey builder. Uh, Next, going to the third rule for the journey builder. So we have this option called new journey version validation. So if I go to manage, so here again, we'll see the pre-configured configuration that is done. And if you click on edit, This rule, what it essentially does is whenever you create a new journey or be it new version of the journey, this rule monitors that new journey for you. Okay, so this is just to make sure that your journey is receiving any entries. Say for example, if I create this journey over here and I activate that, so since it's a new journey, this alert, this rule will monitor that journey. And if there's any issues with it, it will trigger an alert to your Slack channel. So here, the rest of the options remain the same as what I showed you earlier. The only option that changes over here is this, which it says minimum journey entry threshold. So let's say if I have 10 subscribers and I expect at least 4 of them to be within the new journey. So in that case, I can just say as 4. So when the journey is activated and if more than 4 records or at least 4 records are entering the journey, this alert will not be triggered. But if it is lower than 4 records within the journey, it will trigger that alert because this is not satisfying that configuration that we have done, right? So this is the only option that is changed over here. Rest remains the same with respect to business unit journeys and channels. So next we have a final journey, which is a bit different than these 3. So we have an option called journey performance threshold. So within this journey setting, so you have different options as well. So I'll just go to that edit. Now, the first thing is what time frame will the rule monitor? So you can select either 24 hours, 7 days, or 30 days. So you cannot go beyond that. It basically tells this rule that for what time frame should it monitor your journeys. Okay. The second option is minimum journey entry. You can just specify, depending on your audience size, how many journey entries should happen within the journey. And the next option is minimum sent. So this sent option is for your email sends. So within the journey, if you have one email or more than one, it will take the total count of it. Say for example, if I have 2 emails within my journey, and if I'm sending 3 of them within the journey, so if all 3 receive those emails, that means that count will be equal to 3. Okay. So whatever the total number of emails that you have within the journey, it will take the total count for it, and it will check if those many subscribers have been sent an email. So in this case, I'm just saying it as 3, saying that, okay, minimum entry within the journey should be 2, but at least 3 people should receive an email. So that's what this option means. Next is open rate. So I can check if there's any saying that I should have open rate of at least, let's say 20% of the users should open the email. So and similarly you have it for click rate. So I can change this to some percentage, saying that at least 2% of the audience should actually click something within my email. And same goes for unsubscribe rate. So here if you want to measure how many people are unsubscribing from your email, so if you want to measure that metric, you can specify that. So as an example, you can add it. So these are all optional. So if you need it, you can use them. If not, you can skip them, which is okay. Then maximum bounce rate. So you can say that the maximum bounce rate for my email sends, it should be 2%. So if it is more than 2%, this rule will again trigger that alert saying that it's more than 2%. And you can go back to your journey and check if there's any issue with the email addresses. So these are all the options that you see within the journey performance threshold. So this is basically to check the performance, how your journeys are performing. So you can use this rule for it. So initially, again, as I mentioned, you are not opted into this automatically. You would have to click that opt-in option if you want to configure the rules and use them as well. Okay. But once you opt in, there's no going back, so you cannot opt out of it again. If you want, you can just delete all the configurations, and that will make sure that you're not using this rule at all. And the other options, it remains the same. The business units, exclusion of journey based on keywords, specific journeys, and the alerts, channels, and which users to mention, and the buttons. Okay. So these options remains the same. Now, these are the four rules for the journeys that we have. So one was high journey entry. The second is low entry, and next is new journey validation, and the fourth is performance threshold. Now, talking about Automation Studio, we have two rules for this. So the first is the automation with error. So if I click on manage, so you also see that it gives you the number of automations that it's currently monitoring within your marketing account. So if I click on edit, so if you see, I don't have any additional option with respect to all these default options, right? So basically this, whenever you have an error within your Automation Studio, say for example, like this. So if I have any errors, it will just trigger that alert. So you don't need to specify anything else apart from these default options. So, but again, if you want to again exclude them automation based on keywords, you can do that based on a specific automation. Say, for example, this automation, I can select that as well. So it will exclude that whenever it monitors your automations. So this is for automation with errors. The final rule that we have, which is with respect to Automation Studio, that is skipped automation. So if I go to my Marketing Cloud account, if you notice over here, I have skipped that automation. So whenever that happens, this rule, it basically monitors that. So here you again don't have any extra setting that you would need. It's the basic settings that need to be configured. And whenever you skip an automation, it will trigger an alert. Now, so these are with respect to all the rules. So depending on your needs, you can use either one rule or more than one, or you can also, like, say for example, if you want one user to monitor only journey builder, you can let that user to just monitor journey. If you want some other user to just focus on Automation Studio, you can do that settings as well. So this app provides a lot of flexibility with respect to configurations and what's essential to monitor your Marketing Cloud account. Now, next, I'll talk about, go to this command center, so where I'll talk about these buttons. But before that, so if you see every day, I receive alerts with respect to my Journey Builder Automation Studio saying that there was an issue with my journeys and automations, that I can go back to my Marketing Cloud account and always check. So for each alert, currently the configuration is to show all the buttons. So the first option that we have is create channel. So when you create that channel, towards the left, it will create that new channel for you. Now, say for example, here you see that it says that this is journey performance threshold rule. So if I create a channel, there's a format where depending on how it creates that channel. So here, if you see, it says DCC followed by the rule name, followed by the date this channel was created. So depending on the rule, it will create that new channel in those specific format, which is DCC followed by rule name followed by date. So that's this option. So if you want to separately monitor that issue, you can create a new channel so that you can maintain it separately. Okay. Next option is resolve and mute. So here you have three options. First is which says that it's an active issue. It's not resolved. The second is you can select resolve alert. Say for example, if I have an error in my automation, I receive the alert. I go back to my Marketing Cloud account. I fix that error, and if I'm sure that alert is fixed, what I can do is I can go back to my alert over here, and I'll say resolve this alert because I have already fixed it. So you can just click on done, and this alert will be resolved so that you don't have to monitor that again. So in those cases, you can do that. In addition to that, if I don't want to do that manually, this app will actually automatically resolve that alert for you. Say for example, if I have fixed the automation, and if I don't resolve this alert, in the next iteration when this app runs, it will go to your Marketing Cloud account, check if the automation had run successfully. In that case, it will resolve the alert. Okay. So basically, there are two options on how you can resolve it. Either you can do it manually, or you let the app to do that. Okay, because it constantly monitors your account, so it already knows that your automation has run successfully, and it will resolve that alert for you. And the next thing is mute alert. So if I see that if any alert that is not a priority, so what I can say is I can just mute that alert. Now I have to select a time frame over here where it says 24 hours, 7 days, or always. So I can mute the alert for this journey, so that tomorrow if there's any issue, I won't receive an alert for it because of this option. So if you enable that, you won't be notified about it. So that's what this option basically does. So yeah, these are the three options. And finally, you have the manage rule. So this is nothing but the configuration that I showed you earlier. For example, if this is a journey performance threshold rule, you can click on manage rule, and you will be redirected to this configuration that for that current rule. Okay. So again, these are the same settings that I showcased earlier. So you can just check how this alert was triggered, on what type of configuration was this alert triggered. So you can just use this as a reference where you can understand better of why that alert was received. So those are the three buttons. Now I'll show you an example for each of the rules. Along with that, I'll explain some use cases as well. So the first rule that I'm showcasing over here is high journey entry. So here, if you see, it says that the journey. So this is the journey name that I have within my Marketing Cloud account. So if I can click that, it will redirect me to that specific journey. So it says that this journey had 150% more entries in the last 24 hours. So what I did for the rule was I said that, okay, for this journey, the average entry should be at least 2 subscribers. But instead, the entry in the last 24 hours were 5, which was more than 60%. So if I go back and check the rule over here, it says that 60%. So which is more than this. So if you see, it also gives you the percentage of how many more entries were received. So in that case, it will give you the details of what happened, how many entries were into it, and how much are you expecting from those journeys. Okay, and below that you will also see for which specific rule was this alert triggered. Now, if you remember, I just talked about how this app can also resolve the issues. So if you see, it automatically resolved that issue because the next iteration when it ran, it went to that journey and checked if there are not high entries into the journey. So in that case, it automatically understands that, and it will resolve that issue. So you know that, okay, my journey is working as expected. I don't need to switch back over there. So this helps you to do that. You can also manually resolve it if you feel the need to. So one use case where you can actually use this is, say for example, if you have a website where you have a sign up form for the users. So when they sign up, that data is captured in Sales Cloud. And whenever that data is captured in Sales Cloud, you trigger a journey. So in Journey Builder, let's say I can use, say for example, Salesforce data. So whenever that record is created in Sales Cloud, I can trigger the journey based on this. Now, let's say for some reason in the website, you are receiving too many submissions for the form, and this journey is has a lot of entries into it. Okay. Now, in this case, this alert is useful because it tells you that there's some abnormal activity with your journey, since a lot of users are entering into your journey. So in that case, you can use this, or another use cases as well, depending on your business needs. So next option is this low journey entry. So this is, it says that this specific journey called DCC journey, it had 100% less entries. So meaning that the average entry that I was expecting within the journey was 1, but in the last 24 hours, none of the users have entered that journey. So that's the reason this alert was triggered. Okay. So this for this one use case, like what might be again the same, you can use Salesforce data. Say for example, if you're monitoring engagement activity within your website, and based on that engagement, you are creating records in Salesforce or sending that through FTP files. So in that case, you can monitor that, saying that, okay, if there are low entries within the journey, you trigger this specific alert. Okay. The other use case might be wherein you might be using a data extension. So if I use that data extension and say for example, if I add this, and over here I specify filters for the contacts, and depending on that, it will enable the subscribers to enter the journey. So if that count for some reason is low, I can always go back to my data extension and see why that count is low. So in those cases, this rule can be useful. And next, I'll go to this new journey version validation. So here, this rule, so it says that the newly published journey, it had 0 entries. So let's say I configure a welcome journey and I activate that journey. Now in the, after I activate this rule, new journey validation, it will monitor that welcome journey. And if I do not receive any contacts within that journey, this rule, it will trigger that alert saying that for the new journey that you have created, there are no entries. So I can go to my journey and see what's the issue with that journey or the data that I have within the account. So in those cases, this journey is useful. But again, just one point to note over here is you have to wait for at least 23 hours after the journey is activated. For example, if I configure this journey and activate it, from the time of activation to the next 23 hours, this rule, it will not monitor that journey. But after the 23 hours period, it will go ahead and monitor that journey. So only then it will trigger this alert for you. Okay. So that's one point to note for this rule. And next is for journey performance threshold. So this is again, you can use this rule whenever you want to like measure the what do you say, effectiveness of the campaign on how your journeys are performing. So in that cases, this rule, it can be used. So over here, as an example, if you see, it says that in the last 24 hours, I was expecting the entry to be 2, and 2 subscribers have entered the journey. And similarly for sends, I was expecting 3 sends, but instead only 2 of them have been sent an email. And similarly for click rate, you can see how many percentage. Yeah, just ignore this. I think 50% is too much. But yeah, just monitor click rate, open rate. Now, if you notice, I haven't configured unsubscribe and bounce rate for this. So that's the reason why I don't see that options over here. So if you go to manage rule and see that I don't have any setting for this. So this part I configured it just now. So you can, if you don't have anything, it will just skip that option for you. Okay. And then it will also give you which business unit and also consecutive occurrences. So this means that for the last 7 times this alert was triggered for the same journey. Okay, so it will count those number of occurrences. So that means this journey, the issue is not resolved for this journey. That's why it's triggering that alert every time. Okay, and this is the count of how many alerts it has sent to the channel. So it keeps a count of that as well. Now for the, if I resolve that journey, the next time again, it will start with a count as 1. So that's how it works. And coming to automation, so with respect to automation, here if you see, it just says that run of the automation has encountered an error at this time. So this is a UTC based time format. Okay, and you will be seeing a different time in your marketing cloud account based on your settings. Okay. Um, so here it also gives you the detail of where this automation errored out. So in this case, it says that it was a data extract activity. And what was the name for that data extract activity? So this automation, DCC automation, if I go to marketing cloud account, so this is the automation. So this is, if you see, my first step is a data extract activity with name as DE. So it will, since it errored out at this time, so this 1041, like it's, I think it's a different time zone based on my account, but that time zone is converted to UTC time zone over here. And it gives you that time. Okay. So all those details, it will, specific details, it will give you within this alert, so that you can go to your automation, see what's the issue with that specific step, and you can resolve that. Okay. So these type of rules, you can use it for various examples, like your query resulting in a primary key violation, or your due to huge volume of data, your query is timing out. So for those type of cases, you can use this type of rule, so that your automations don't error out and fail. So next we have skipped automation. So in the skipped automation, again, this time is for the UTC time zone. So within this automation, if you notice, at this time, I had skipped the automation, and that same time it's converted to a UTC, and it will show you over here. So it gives you the which automation was skipped at what specific time. Now, this type of rule you can use for use cases like, say, for example, if you're working for a financial services client, uh, depending on the number of holidays, they usually skip the automation, so that no emails are triggered during the holiday. So in those type of cases, you can use this rule, so that whenever the automation is skipped, you can be sure that it was skipped on a holiday and not some other days, which was a non-bank holiday. So that use case, it works for this rule. So that's about all the rules. And coming to the slide, yeah, next I'll talk about daily digest report. So within this app, so under the messages tab, you have an option called daily digest report. So this report every day at 8 a.m. Pacific time, this app, it sends you a report saying that, say for example, this one here, it says that for this rule, you can in the last 24 hours there was one issue with this rule, and for the next rule you had again one issue with respect to that in the last 24 hours, and similarly for other rules. So for those 6 rules, it will basically just give you a report saying that what happened in the last 24-hour period. So since my account is like configured based on IST time, so it says 8:30. But usually you receive these reports at 8 a.m. Pacific time. Now within this rule, I can go to the details and see which alert was this. So I can also just click this button and it will directly go to that rule. So if you see, it went to that channel, it went to this rule saying that this was the rule that was triggered. So you can directly jump to that rule and see what happened with that, where's that issue, if it is resolved, or currently if someone is working on that issue. So you can, so this report actually only runs on weekdays, not weekends. Now, for some reason, like if you need to generate that report again manually, or if you need to see the latest updates on that report, say for example, this rule triggered at 8:30, right? Now, after my work, if I like, let's say for 5 p.m., I want to see the report again. You cannot get that again unless you go ahead and use a command over there. So there's a specific command to generate a report. So if you click on slash digest report, so this is a basic, like you just have one command for this app that helps you to generate the report. So now at 5 p.m., if I need that report again to see what's the latest updates, or during the weekends, if I need to see that report, I can just select that. Now, once I do that and click on enter, it says that it is working on it. The report is being generated for you, which could take 10 minutes, but usually it's within a minute or so. So here, if you see, it generated that report with respect to Journey Builder and saying that there was low entry with respect to performance threshold, what was the issue. So you can use that slash command for generating the reports as and when you need it. So depending on how you monitor your marketing cloud account, you can use this report, which is a good as a reference as well. So you can always go to that specific alert, see who is working on that alert, what was the issue with that alert, if it's resolved or not. So all those details you can see that within this report. Okay. Finally, we have one more tab called about, where it just basically gives you the details about what this app is, and you can also like use the command directly from here. So here you see it says digest report. So if I click on start command, you switch back to messages, and that command will automatically be there for you. So you can just enter that and it will generate that report. So and the other option is configuration. So if I want to do some configurations with respect to the app, I can go to this, and for some reason, if I want to delete the app as well, I can use this configuration option. So let's see. Yeah. So here you see the details of where the bots are. So this is the app, and it says that the bots, I can just see which channels. So this was the default channel that was created by the app, and these was the 6 channels that I created by using the create channel option. So you can see that where this bot is used, then you can also remove that app if you don't need it. So it will completely remove all your app along with your configurations. So if you want to do that, you can do that as well. And rest of the details are some basic details that you want to go through, and some description on how to generate the report. And with respect to security and compliance, you can check those settings as well. So that's about that. Now, let's say this is for John. Like, so he's already connected to Marketing Cloud account. Now, when he's connected to that account for the first time, he'll be the owner of all the rules that are pre-configured, and also he'll be added to this default channel, so which is the command center alert. Okay. Now, if I want to add someone to this channel so that even they can see the alerts for Marketing Cloud, so you can go to that and you can just find those members and you can add them as well. So for now, I have added Claire over here. Now, if I switch back to Claire's account over here, if you see, I can go to that default channel. I can see what are the alerts. So people who are added to that specific channel, they can see those alerts, which alerts are pending. So this is like not resolved, and the green indicates that the alert is resolved. So that's how you can differentiate between them. And yeah, now if you notice, Claire does not have access to the other channels that I created, right? So if I go over here you see I have those 6 channels that I created from this account. Now, Claire does not have access to that. So if needed, she can be added to those channels as well, and she would be able to see that specific alert. Okay. So this helps in like you can just add users who are actually monitoring your journeys and automations, so that others don't have access to these alerts. Okay. So that way you can be sure that these are the people who are working on the alerts, and you can get the updates from them. So you can also, like let's say for this alert, if I want any update, I can just reply to that and add like, hey John, like I have resolved this issue, so and something on that lines. So you can do that. And yeah, that's about the app configuration. I'll walk through some of the other things as well as I when go through the slide deck. So now next, coming to considerations, first thing is like in order to use this app's full functionality, you need the admin permissions in your SFMC account for Journey Builder as well as Automation Studio. Okay, so if the user who is actually adding that app, they cannot create rules unless they have these specific permissions. Okay, so just make sure that the users that you want to whom you want to monitor these options, you can they have the admin permissions for these two. So that's first consideration. Second consideration is ownership. So this is with respect to the rules and configurations that we saw earlier. So now the first point is the first user who connects to digital command center app, they become the owner of all the rules and configurations. So like I mentioned earlier, since John was the one who connected that app first for that specific workspace, he will be added as a owner by default for all the rules that are configured for the app. So that's first point. Second point is every time a user opts into a rule, they become the owner of the initial configuration. So if you remember, I mentioned that there's one specific rule where you have the option of opt-in, which is this rule, journey performance threshold. So initially you see the option of opt-in over here. Now, if John opts in, clicks on that option, he becomes the owner by default. And if Claire does that first, she becomes the owner of that configuration. Okay, so within this configuration, you see a owner, right? So since John was the one who opted in, he's the owner for that specific configuration. Okay. So that's what this second point means. Next point is every time a user clones a configuration, they become the owner of it. Now, say for example, if I go back to Claire's account. So let me just quickly connect this account so that I can showcase this to you. Um, yeah. Um, so once you connect that, it will show you a message that you are all set. Now, if I go back, so it will just give me a message saying that I'm connected to my Marketing Cloud account. And if you notice, now since you are already connected, it will give you those options that we discussed earlier. Now, within this view library, so over here, now Claire can see all the options that John can, because even she has the admin permissions for it. Now, if you see currently for this configuration, John is the owner. Now, if I want, I can clone this user rule, and if I just click on save and go back to that manage option. So over here, if you see, since Claire was the one who cloned that configuration, she becomes the owner for it. Okay. So that's what that third point meant, wherein you say whoever clones it, they become the owner of it. And fourth point is every time a user creates a new configuration, they become the owner of it. So for example, if Claire is creating a new configuration, she will become the owner for that. Okay. And finally, we have if a user deletes a configuration, that configuration will no longer have owner. Okay. Say for example, if let's say if I want to delete a configuration, I can do that. So I can just go to this. If I delete this configuration, it will be deleted for all the users, okay, within that specific workspace. So, and after that, you won't receive that alerts, and none of the users will be able to see that configuration because it's been deleted. So be very careful with when using that option. Next is talking about disconnect. So if an owner wants to disconnect their account from the app, all the configurations they own will be deleted. So what this means is, so this is John's account. So if let's say for some reason John is leaving the organization, and if he wants to disconnect the account, so once he goes and disconnects this account, so over here, if we click that option to disconnect, all the rules that were created by John, they will be deleted. You won't be able to see those rules. Okay. So now, in order to avoid that, what we can do is, this is where this point comes in, where if a user owns a configuration and if they want to disconnect, make sure that another user with sufficient permissions clones their configurations. Okay. And then they can disconnect it. So I'll just go to this account. So again, going back to that example where if John wants to leave the organization, so before he disconnects from the app, what we can do is, let's say there's another user called Claire. So what she can do is, she can go to the app, she can go to rule library and let's say manage, and she can clone all the rules, all the configurations that were created by John. So once she has done that, say for example this, okay, once she has those configurations in place, then John can go ahead and delete the sorry, disconnect the account, and you will see that this rule gets deleted. But at the same time, if you notice, since Claire has already cloned that rule, she can like still continue to monitor your Marketing Cloud journeys and accounts. Okay, so before disconnecting the account, just make sure that if you want to continue using the rules that were created by that user, then some other user with specific admin permissions, they can clone that, and they can continue to monitor your marketing automations and journeys. So that's what this disconnect consideration means. Next, few points to note. So rules are implemented for the entire workspace. Okay, so within one workspace, you can have one app, and you can it works for your entire workspace. Second is this app, it's not it's not included for an additional charge. So if you already have a Marketing Cloud license, it's completely for free. You can connect this app and then start with configuring rules. And sorry, yeah. Next is Digital Command Center. It does not have access to your customer data, so it only accesses your operation time and statistics. For example, if you have configured a rule for your automation, this app, it doesn't go and access all your customer data. What access it has is it will check what's the name of your automation, what steps do you have within your automation, and it will monitor the statistics, which is if there are any errors or skipped, so the time zone at which that specific step failed. So just basic details it has access to. So it cannot access your customer data. So the security aspect of it is already taken care of it by the app. And all the data, it's already by default, its retention period is 30 days. So and next is within the same Slack workspace, different users can connect their Marketing Cloud account. So like I showed earlier, since John was already connected, I also connected this account for Claire to Marketing Cloud. So within the same workspace, you can connect multiple users can connect to your Marketing Cloud account, unless obviously they have a specific admin permissions. Okay. So next is daily digest reports. Like I mentioned, they are generated only on weekdays. If you need to check the reports again, you can always use that slash command that I showcased earlier. And yeah, this is important. So if one rule is created by user A and another rule is created by B, and if both have admin permissions, they can delete the rules of each other. So let's say, for example, if John is an admin, Marketing Cloud admin, and similarly goes for Claire. So this is John's account. So if I switch back to Claire's account, and here if you see this configuration, it was earlier set up by John, but since Claire is also an admin, she has the option to delete that. Okay, so be very careful of who have the admin permissions. So just make sure to limit that access because this configuration, if everyone are admin, anyone can delete each other's configuration, and there's no log to monitor who had deleted that configuration. So be very careful with that. And next is after the user B is disconnected, they remain part of the channel that was initially created. So say, for example, if John is disconnecting his account, so here, if you can see, okay, so if John is disconnecting his account, you can remove John from this specific channel, so that only Claire has access to this channel and others don't. So that's about point 2. Next point is when the rule is triggered for the journey and the alert is sent to Slack. So if you pause or stop the journey, the alert will not be resolved. Okay. Say, for example, in the command center alert, let's say Yeah, let's say for this currently, if you see this is not resolved. Okay. Now, if I go back to Marketing Cloud account, if I pause that journey or if I stop that journey, this alert will not be automatically resolved. So the app will wait until it finds that the error is resolved. Okay. So until that point, it won't resolve that error. Okay. But let's say for some reason, if I want to go ahead and stop the journey because I don't want to use that journey anymore. Now, if you have already received this alert, I'll go to this journey. I'll stop that journey because I don't need that journey anymore. So in that case, what you can do is you can switch over here and you can just resolve that. So you can just select this option and click on resolve. It will resolve that alert. Okay. So this is where the app doesn't know that whether you will continue to use that journey or not. So this status will always remain the same. It will not resolve it. So in those type of cases, this is where you have to come in and resolve those alerts. Okay. So that's about point 3. And finally, we have automation error alert. So even when you like manually run the automation and if it errors out for some reason, even then this alert it will be triggered. So it's not specifically that it will be only triggered when the automation is at a scheduled state. Even when manual run is done, it will trigger that alert for you. Okay. And it is resolved when the next run error has occurred. So this is again one more important point that I wanted to show. So let's say over here for this automation, the first time I received an error and I received this alert in Slack, okay, which is this automation. Okay. Now I ran this automation manually. It errored out. It gave me a Slack error. Okay. Now, when I fix that issue or when I skip that automation, okay, and if it runs successfully, this error that was specific to this part, it will get resolved. Okay, meaning that in the next iteration, if you see it was skipped, that's the reason why it went ahead and it resolved that error. Okay, because it's not erroring out again, right? So uh, that's how it monitors. Okay, so first it will show you that error alert. In the next iteration, if that automation ran successfully or if it was something else apart from errors, this alert will be resolved saying that okay, you don't have any errors within your automation. So that's what this means. Okay. And finally, some best practices. So let's say if I have created, if you see I have created like 6 different channels for each alerts. Uh, and if this issue is resolved and I don't need to don't need to have this channel. So in that case, you can just click on this channel over here. Here you can say settings. Yeah. Here you see the option of archive channel for everyone. So you can archive this channel and you won't be able to see that channel over here, but it will always be that you can access it at a later point as well. So that's the reason you can archive the channel rather than deleting it, so that you can always go back and check that alert for future cases. So that's the first best practice. Second is if you are monitoring multiple Marketing Cloud business unit, so you can create configuration rule for each. Say for example, since I can create up to 10 configurations for each rule. I can create, let's say, 6 configurations which are for 6 business units. So I can do that. And in that way, you know that which business unit triggered the alert. And you can also consider using separate Slack channels for business unit. So let's say if I have 6 different Slack channels for each business unit. So whenever I configure any of the rules, I can specify that channel over here saying that, okay, you can send the alert to me in this specific channel. Okay. So yeah, I think that's all I had for today. If there are any questions, I can take a look.
Thanks, Akash. I think there are a few questions from audience. I think there's one. Can we connect one Slack user to multiple SFMC accounts?
One Slack user to multiple accounts. Actually, it only allows you to connect to one account, but within that one account, it allows you to connect multiple business units, including parent-child.
Like one-to-one, like one Slack account?
Yeah, it's one-to-one. If you want, you can, let's say, if you have two users, you can ask one user to connect to one account and the other user to the other account. So
Okay, like multiple admins has to manage.
yeah, so it's more on how you want to manage. Like I mentioned, if you want to ask one user to manage Journey Builder, they can do that, and one more for Automation Studio. Or if you want them to monitor different business units or different accounts, that happens on a one-to-one level.
Got it. There's one more. What if both rules will be there and John will not delete the rule, like duplicate rules been created by someone, and what will happen? Is there any due diligence has been happening within the rules?
Okay, so let's say if any user is creating a duplicate rule, in that case, you will receive those alerts for that rule as well as the other configuration, which is the pretty duplicate of it. So like in this case, since I already cloned this configuration from John, both the alerts, it will be triggered for you. Although it's the same rule, it will trigger that. So it's very important that you see what configurations do you want to set. But at the same time, you also have to monitor if someone has not deleted your rules or if they have duplicated that same rule again. So that is something that you would want to monitor. So that's the reason if less users have access to this app, the better.
Yeah, yeah. This all these alerts are real time, right, Akash, if I'm not wrong?
Yeah, I mean, so this app, it continuously monitors it. So as and when it finds the alerts, it just does that. But I don't think it does it. Like I haven't seen doing it. Like say, for example, if my journey is not, I think I scheduled my journey at 10 p.m. IST. After that journey ran, it took almost like a half hour to send me that alert saying that there are low entries within your journey. So it's not actually real time, more of a iteration. So when every iteration that it runs, it goes monitors. If there's any error, it gives you that alert. Then in the next iteration, it checks if that error is continuing or if it is already resolved, and then it comes back and resolve those alerts. So that's something which I personally have tested and found out that it's not, it doesn't give that immediately. Uh, for automation errors, although if you see, it gave me what time that automation error failed, but this time that it sent me the alert, it was actually after a few minutes of my automation that was errored out. So that's the thing with this app. So yeah.
I think for now we can treating as a near real time. Maybe some delay
Yeah.
after automations ran.
Yeah.
All right.
Um, Sorry, do you mean if there's any way to do that?
No, no, no. I was just saying currently it is near real time.
Yeah, right. It's near real time. Yeah.
No, no, I don't have much idea about Slack, frankly, in terms I haven't done integration with Marketing Cloud.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, from what I have tested, it took a while to send that alert. It wasn't completely near time, but yeah, near real time, I would say yes.
All right, thank you. So the last question would be, what is the limitation of 10 configurations until up to 10 configurations, or can we do more than that, the
No,
rules?
it allows only 10 for each rule. So if you need again an extra configuration, in that case, you would have to delete the one that you don't require and then configure that additional configuration.
All right. Okay. I think that's all the questions we have, Akash. And thank you so much for delivering such a great session. I mean, I personally learned a lot, and I am sure the audience also learned something for sure. Thank you again. And for the Twitter, people who have been tweeted, I think Slack team will monitor, and then they'll announce the winners. They'll directly announce the winners in the Slack sometime this week or next week. I'll keep you posted as well. All right. Thank you once again, Akash. Any other questions, team? Any other questions, audience? Yeah. Thanks again, Akash. It was a great session. I was learning really good and looking forward to meet you, Akash, at India Driven.
Yeah,
And whoever
same
is
here.
joining, yeah, whoever is coming to India Driven, so would love to meet and yeah, just come and say hi. So would love to collaborate with you as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.